His life was absurd. He went all over the world accepting all kinds of bondage and escaping. He was roped to a chair. He escaped. He was chained to a ladder. He escaped. He was handcuffed. His legs were put in irons. He was tied up in a straitjacket and put in a locked cabinet. He escaped. He escaped from bank vaults, nailed up barrels, sewn mailboxes. He escaped from a zinc lined Nabe piano case, a giant football, a galvanized iron boiler, a roll top desk, a sausage skin. His escapes were mystifying because he never damaged or appeared to unlock what he escaped from. The screen was simply pulled away, and there he stood, disheveled but triumphant beside the involute container that was supposed to have contained him. He waved to the crowd. Oh, hello there. I didn't see you guys come in. I was just reading a little bit about Houdini from the Robin Williams book. And that's the man who escaped. That's the man who was chained and who escaped every single time. And I wonder if Bitcoin might be that kind of a man. As we've all seen Bitcoin decline in price over the last couple of days, certainly I'll take my fault in that. I was definitely prepared for Bitcoin to go back up. And you know how it is. Whenever you buy Bitcoin, it goes down. Whenever you sell Bitcoin, it goes right back up. I don't know how it does that, how it can do that for so many of us at the same time, but it has that special skill. So let's just check in quick with the price of Bitcoin, move on about our day. The price of Bitcoin is down 3.05% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 6,194, a high of 6,390, and a low of 6,163. That's $1 for 16,161 Satoshis, just on the other side of the 15,000 Satoshi barrier. As always, you can check out the World Crypto Network on our audio podcast on iTunes. We've got more than just the World Crypto Network. It's like the World Crypto Network and friends. Subscribe on iTunes today to get all the audio podcasts that you need. Support the World Crypto Network Patreon. Looks like we went up around $30 overnight. That's pretty good. Bitcoin goes down, Patreon goes up. Support the Mad Bitcoins Patreon. Thanks to Jeremy Lucid, who's been writing in the community section lately. Jeremy says I'm doing a good job spreading the good word. He says that he enjoyed the way I described the big block SegWit tale today. And yesterday I explained to a caller how Bitcoin could benefit him, even though he didn't seem to care. I spelled it out clearly, kindly, and sincerely to him, and to other people that were listening. And I was relentlessly calm during it all. And thank you so much. He says, nice job. And it's not easy being calm on these shows. It's certainly a skill. It's something you practice. It's something you intend to do. I intend to do better. I intend to be kinder. It's not easy for me. It's not easy for anybody. I think even Mr. Rogers really had to focus to do his act right. But he was that focused to it. He was that dedicated to stay in character. The same way Ali G or Borat might be, Sacha Baron Cohen. As always, you can support the World Crypto Network right here with the Bitcoin address on your screen or a variety of altcoin addresses. Maybe we'll check the altcoin addresses later in the show. Yesterday, we had quite a lot of empty altcoin addresses, so not an impressive start to the altcoin donation index. Bitcoin price puts bull move on hold as downside risks grow. You got to love these economists. When we're up, we're up. And when we're down, we're down. They're great. He says Bitcoin, a dip before press time, could threaten a developing bullish chart pattern. It's almost as if these chart patterns exist only in the past. It's almost as if every time we threaten them, we change direction and the entire chart pattern changes. It's almost as if the thing that meant so much yesterday could suddenly mean nothing today. It's almost as if this chart reading doesn't matter at all. The bull reversal is in doubt. The inverse head and shoulders pattern compromises 3 successive troughs the middle trough being the lowest and the outside troughs being low and roughly equal. In Bitcoin's case, the left shoulder low is 6108. Bitcoin needs the right shoulder in the range of 6,000 to 6,100. Bulls need to defend the support at 6,000 and stage a solid rebound. Else, the dream of a picture perfect inverse head and shoulders pattern will remain elusive. That's unfortunate. We'll have to draw some other pattern on the chart. Let's go to the view. Bitcoin risks falling below $6,000 in the next 24 hours and could extend the decline towards a recent low of 5,755, the hourly chart indicates. Acceptance below 6,000 would kill the odds of a Bitcoin price charting an inverse head and shoulders, the bullish reversal pattern. On the higher side, only a convincing move above 6,408, the height of the bear flag, would abort the bearish view put forward by the bear flag breakdown. Oh, this is tragic here. The author owns no cryptocurrency assets at the time of writing. You poor bastard. Jesus Christ. Omkar, my buddy, my man, I'm feeling sorry for you. I'm gonna have to follow him on Twitter or something. This is tragic, man. Like, how do you not have any Bitcoin, man? Okay, so you're in India, so you know that's a bummer. But you got to get some Bitcoin, Omkar. This is no good, man. I don't know how to help you out here, man. This coin desk needs to let you take some donations or something, man. Okay, so I'm gonna follow him because that'll help. Hey, man, I heard you have no Bitcoin. I'm super bummed for you. Will CoinDesk let you take donations or something? Simply will not stand, man. This lack of Bitcoin. Had to help. I kind of ran out of words. Let us know. Oh well, I'll just give him one of these. He'll know. He'll see the sign, man. You don't think it's too subtle. You don't think people will see the sign. Let's see. I need a good gift for this. Yeah, this one. Simply will not stand, man. This lack of Bitcoin. Okay, so we're gonna see if we can get a donation address for that guy, because I like his stuff here on the thing, and I just kind of assumed CoinDesk was paying him in Bitcoin, or at least telling him to hold some, because you know it's Bitcoin and all that. And yeah, no cryptocurrency assets. You do what you want, man, but you should have like a point one or something, man. So you could say at least like if it goes up, you'll have a little bit. So there it is, Omkar Godbull. Let's follow this guy on Twitter at Godbull17. He needs a new picture too. He's super blocky here, low res. But let's put that all aside. Let's go back to what we were doing before. Gamers relief. Bitcoin bear period is bringing down high-end GPU prices. Well, it's bad for everybody else, but it's good for the gamers. You can get GPUs again, at least for now. Of course, you'd have to. It'd be tough to be such a hardcore gamer that you're not going to mine with your GPU, given that you know how much money people are making on them. That even non-gamers are buying them out. That the stores are limiting them to buy only one. All this kind of thing. So you got to figure this is a temporarily reduce here in the GPU prices. Of course, if the altcoins keep sinking, if Bitcoin keeps sinking, maybe you can get some cheap GPUs again. You can waste your life playing video games. They say in the chat, are ASICs taking the place of GPU mining? For Bitcoin, most definitely. Bitcoin is probably 95% mined by ASICs. Just throwing that out there. I don't know for sure. Whereas I would say altcoins are still using the GPUs. Something about the script hashing. Script takes more memory. It's easier to have more memory on a computer than on an ASIC. There were some script ASICs for a little while, but I'm not sure how well they ran. And you know how it is; they go out of use in like 3 months, 6 months. boom, your ASIC is worthless. So GPUs maybe a little bit better. Maybe you could still resell them for other video gamers. But let's keep going. Here's why Bitcoin's blockchain has blocks that go over the 2 megabyte limit. Okay, let's see. Do they really know anything? SegWit. All right, there we go. It's not a culprit. Ugh, the culprit is SegWit. Yeah, yeah, it was a planned upgrade. They talked about it. Everyone knew about it. We all knew that we were going to store the signatures separately. It's called separate signatures. Um, yeah, I don't see this. This is an article for people that haven't been paying attention. So yeah, if you haven't been paying attention, SegWit does allow Bitcoin blocks to get slightly bigger. It's not a culprit. There's no secret magic code here. If you paid attention, you'd know what's going on. Three things that make Bitcoin 6,000 a key price for Bitcoin trading. Well, it's a big, it's round, and it's a number. It's a big round number. Let's see. I'm not even seeing it here. Psychology, spelled wrong. This is, Forbes magazine. There's the physiology. There's the physiology. I'll put that in the chat for you guys, so you'll know about. Then there's the physiology. Come on, Forbes. Read your articles before you publish them. It's embarrassing. Bitcoin survey reveals worrying crypto trends. This could be worrying one way or worrying the other way. Uh, okay, so once again, people in Canada are increasingly aware of Bitcoin and they aren't using it. I don't care. This is yeah, okay, this is not the way to look at Bitcoin. You're like, Bitcoin's brand new and no one's using it. I would get worried if they hadn't heard of it by now. That's one thing. It's amazing that they've heard of it. The media keeps moving the goalposts. Last year, it was no one's heard of Bitcoin. This year, it's everyone's heard of Bitcoin, but no one's using it. That's a pretty good change for a company with no marketing. That's a pretty good change for a company that doesn't pay anybody to talk about it. You might have seen all the advertisements for the latest launch of the newest DApp and all the incredible graphics and the user interface that they had professionally designed by the professional user interface company and all the other things that have been going on in the exciting world of altcoins. Those are all advertising. That's all marketing. Bitcoin doesn't have any of that. Even the companies that are supposed to support Bitcoin, companies like BitPay or Purse, they've all given up on Bitcoin, right? They're like Coinbase. Coinbase used to be the place to buy Bitcoin. Now Coinbase is the place to buy Bitcoin and four random altcoins. How does anyone know the difference? They don't. It's very sad. Other places have switched to Bcash because temporarily it's faster or temporarily it's cheaper. That's absurd. That's like that old story with the marauding armies of Carthage and Hannibal Barca with his great war elephants marching up from Carthage into Rome. He'd roll into the city, and the city would take down their Roman banners, and they'd say, "Welcome, Carthage. It's wonderful to have you." He would roll on to the next city. They'd put all their Roman banners back up. They knew that Rome was coming back. They knew that Hannibal and Carthage, for all of their might, they were just passing through. Rome was forever. And for all these companies that give up on Bitcoin in the short term or charge excessive fees and then claim Bitcoin's too expensive or whatever other nonsense they're trying to do, they're all making a mistake. They're all making a mistake of turning their back on Rome. And when Rome comes back and finds out that you haven't just put away your Roman banners, when Rome comes back and they find out that you've burned your Roman banners, that you knocked down your statues and destroyed your images of Caesar, Rome is going to be mad. And remember, when Rome gets mad, they wipe out entire cities. Carthage is gone. They burnt the earth. They salted the land. They filled in the port. There's no more port there. You can't have any ships. You can't have any ships. You can't grow any crops. We burned down all your buildings, and you don't even want to know what Rome did to your women. So don't mess with Rome. Bitcoin is Rome. Bitcoin will be back. These companies that have doubted Bitcoin and turned their backs on it and walked away will only go out of business. And it's sad for them because all they had to do was stick with Rome. All they had to do was stick with the winner. Bitcoin price live. Bitcoin slumps again. Price is expected to die at $43, says experts. Well, I tell you, it'll die at $43 from me buying it all. It'll die at $43 from me maxing out all of my credit cards to get some more. If Bitcoin went to $43, so many people that I know would get so many Bitcoin. In fact, there probably wouldn't be enough Bitcoin, and the lack of supply would drive the price right back up. Let's see what's going on. Gotta love the tabloids. It says, "Good morning and welcome to our rolling coverage of all things cryptocurrency, including price, regulation, innovation, and financial crime." Thanks, tabloid. Um, Noah Smith from Bloomberg and Joseph Carson, the chief security scientist at Thycotic. Never heard of that. Let's see what that is. Thycotic has a secret server. They're a sponsor of Black Hat 2018. And let's just try to find out what they are. Thycotic. They have a secret server. Your privileged accounts are hackers' favorite target. So it seems like these would be the kind of people that would be into Bitcoin. But he says the most pessimistic of all scenarios is the most likely. He says that Bitcoin prices will fail as mining costs increase and prices fall to just $43. Let's see. He says Bitcoin will take, and again, what a weatherman here. Bitcoin will take one of three tacks. It will triumph, replacing all other fiat currencies. It will become like gold, or it'll go bust and go to $43. I once again, like you have to judge the risk of this. If there was a real risk of Bitcoin going to $43, it'd be a serious bad investment. But look at his other 2 points. If there was any kind of possibility of Bitcoin replacing the world's gold or replacing the world's currency, the upside on the Bitcoin price would be worth the potential downside of it going to $43 in scenario number 3. Like anyone can see that, right? You have a bet where it's like, well, 2 out of 3 times this bet goes to the moon, and 1 time it goes to the sewer, right? It's the best bet in the world. Like, every bet in the casino is terrible, but this bet could go to the moon. So this is just nonsense, and, remember, this is from the express.co.uk, that wonderful tabloid, that we like to read, because it's good to get the tabloid information. So, yeah, maybe he means more like 4,300, not $43. How to short sell Bitcoin and why more people aren't. Excuse me. Why more people aren't short selling Bitcoin? Because it could go up at any time. Like the last article said, there's 2 out of 3 chances that Bitcoin goes through the moon, replacing gold or replacing all currency. So it's incredibly dangerous to short sell something like Bitcoin. Yes, yeah, you're betting against the market, and that works for a little while, but it's not going to work forever. And yeah, you could margin trade. You could increase your short trade and go into debt for it. That would certainly be more dangerous. You could find a new way to be more dangerous. So yeah, I would be careful with short selling, and I think that's what the article says. Let's see what else we've got today. Bitcoin price watch. BTC/USD trend overwhelmingly bearish. It's almost like it's gone down so much it can't go up anymore. We all know that's not true. Let's see. Key points. Bitcoin price declined further and broke a key support at 6,300 USD. There was a break below a contracting triangle with support at 6,310. The pair is currently under pressure and remains at a risk of more losses if Bitcoin below 6,200. Once again, it's the same old weatherman analysis. Oh, the price is going down, so it might go down further. Oh, the price is going up, so it might go up further. Maybe you just don't know anything about the price. 3 reasons why the Bitcoin ETF could happen next month. And that's what it's like being involved in a new stock like Bitcoin, something like early Facebook stock. One moment you're down and you're going to $43 and everything's terrible. And the next moment you've got a Bitcoin ETF and you're skyrocketing right back to 20K. The Chicago Board of Exchange Options Exchange has filed for a rule change to have a Bitcoin trust. Let's see. The tentative decision date is Friday, August 10th, although a 45-day extension is possible. That means no later than September 24th, we'll have a decision from the SEC. It appears to be in favor of Bitcoin ETFs. Jeremy Gomath, Jeremy Gomath, the president of Logic Box Incorporated, says that he strongly supports the listing and trading of SolidX Bitcoin shares. This fund seeks to target high net worth investors, so I do not see a risk to retail investors. To do so is contrary, and I think that the ETF is backed by actual Bitcoins versus futures, which is much more healthy for the market and will provide more stability. So it sounds good. People are in favor of ETF. This time, why is it different? The Bitcoin price is way up. True. Custodial services, Coinbase, the Swiss Stock Exchange, Zappo, and others are now providing secure custodial services for clients. And there's been so-called regulatory clarity. The best part about this regulatory clarity is that Bitcoin hasn't moved a bit. The clarity is all coming on their side. They're all talking about how they've found clarity and they've found a way, just as when the SEC announced that Bitcoin, Ether, and other decentralized cryptocurrencies will not be classified as securities. Again, they made the change. Bitcoin just continued to exist. It doesn't care about these things. The Bitcoin ETF is a distinct possibility. Hey, check it out. Andy Hoffman from Crypto Gold Central believes that the latest filing by the CBOE has created a buzz despite the bearish trend of cryptocurrency markets. The buzz seems to suggest it has a chance of being approved, writes Hoffman. And given that Bitcoin futures have successfully traded for more than 7 months, with Bitcoin's market cap stubbornly holding above 100 billion since November, he believes that the SEC approval is a distinct possibility. Nice stuff. He's saying that if the shares are approved on August 10th, it will likely catalyze a massive explosion of the Bitcoin price, and with it, the cryptocurrency space in general. And once again, that's what that guy was saying last month, Tom Lee from Fundstrat Investors. He said, if you stay out of a market like this, you miss all the days where it goes up. When Bitcoin goes up because of this kind of news, it won't happen on August 10th. It'll probably happen on August 7th or August 8th when the news is leaked to other people, something like that. Then the price of Bitcoin will explode. Afterwards, you can try to follow, you can try to get in after the explosion. If you're out of the market, you miss the days where the price goes up. You also miss the days where the price goes down. So you just want to have some exposure. You want to have some risk on both sides. Uh, the race for a Bitcoin ETF, the Winklevi brothers' effort, and just more about the Winklevi and how they're filing again and how great it is. And they will be undeterred by their latest setback. The race for the first Bitcoin ETF continues, and more references of them being Olympic rowers and the whole romantic story of the Winklevi. I mainly know them from that movie, and we all know that movie's not real. So you can now have a say on the CBOE Bitcoin ETF filing on the SEC website. Oh, really? Right now, there are over 20 comments on the website since the authority opened a comment section for regards to the filing. Let's see what's going on over at the SEC's comment section. And let's just drop the link right here into chat. There it is. You could comment. Ant Madog, Steve Miller, Mike Thomas. Let's see. I don't see anybody I know in here. Oh, there's that guy, Jeremy Gomat. Nice. Leonardo Francisci. That's very good. Okay, so let's choose one at random. Remove the accredited investors restriction. Wealth is not a measure of intelligence, and non-accredited investors, believe it or not, actually have brains too. Please open this ETF up to all investors and then approve it. Interesting stuff. He wants everyone to be able to invest. In 10 or 20 years, the global balance of power will shift towards countries that have amassed the most digital gold, like Bitcoin. Approving this ETF will allow Americans to amass Bitcoin through their normal brokerage account. This will ensure America remains the #1 economy as the world shifts from legacy money to digital assets. Very cool point from Eric Catt. Steve Miller. The importance of cryptocurrencies are very critical. We should move funds across the border in the fastest way without a third-party validator. And then just seems in general he's in favor of this. So we're seeing a lot of people in favor of the SEC approving a Bitcoin ETF. Alex Hale says that he strongly supports the proposal of a Bitcoin ETF. Just because of Bitcoin futures, Bitcoin went from 3K to 20K. It's funny. He says SEC's helped to make money for small investors who lost a lot of money in the last 7 months. The ETF has the potential to take Bitcoin from 6K to 30K, and we can help start the new crypto cycle. That would be great. A lot of positive comments here about the ETF. He would like to see the SEC approve the Bitcoin ETF. Let's see. He says that he'd like to own the underlying asset Bitcoin. Well, you can do that right now. That's the funny thing is that the people asking for non-accredited investors or all those kind of things, you can buy Bitcoin now. No one's stopping you from buying it and holding it, getting a Trezor or a Ledger, holding those private keys for yourself, and that's the way to go. So. And we're checking in with you, the audience, now on Bitcoin Talk Show. We're going to go and open up the phone lines here. If you'd like to call us on Skype at World Crypto Network, all one word, we can give us a call now. We're also joined by Ricardo from Paris. How's it going, Ricardo? France is in the World Cup. It's France and Croatia. How about that?
Oh man, I can't wait. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. I think that game is that Saturday night? I couldn't tell you.
It's
But
tough to say. It's Sunday here, but I don't know what time that is everywhere else. So.
Okay, it might be Sunday. But anyways, it's going really good. A lot of things to be talked about with what's going on in the world. But if we want to just dumb it down, we're in a great place, you guys, for a lot of change. So I just want to tell people that who cares about the price? It's a good price, I say. But also the fact that I think that people are completely missing the point that what are you going to do right now? Is there something besides the price that's really massive that can be dawned upon right now rather than worrying about buying more and more and more and more or obtaining more? Buy what you can, invest in what you think. If that's altcoins, then that's going to be your thing. But right now is a beautiful time, and you're right. It is all supply and demand, and when it gets down to the gritty last bits, who knows what we're going to be dealing with? So, especially with the technology and the scalability with SegWitness, the Lightning Network. So, people need to see the bigger picture. There's a huge picture, and you're just looking. Here's an example: if the stock market for Apple stock goes up, it doesn't make you going to go buy the newest cell phone. Who cares about the price of the stock market? If the iPhone or the stock goes down, are you going to chuck your iPhone? I don't think so. You're still going to use it. In fact, you might go and buy another one because it's going down. So people need to realize this is a big deal. We're looking at history right now. And until it gets down to $43 and people are, trying to sell their cars to get some Bitcoin, People need to just relax. You know, this is a beautiful time. It's summer. You need to go enjoy it. Once it gets winter, you're gonna be like, God damn it! I'm stared at the screen, or I was so stressed out about the price, or I was stressed out about decisions I didn't choose to make. So people need to enjoy it. You know, we're living right now, and this is the future. So that's going good in Paris. Hopefully, everything goes good with France and the World Cup. So we'll see.
When it was 18,000, everyone wanted it to go down to 6,000. They wanted that sweet deal, and now it's your chance, and everyone's bummed out about it.
I
So
know people are kicking the can. They're trying to reinvent the wheel, and people are putting the money where their mouth is. People that are doing work out there, good on you. I say there's work to be done. There's so much work to be done. Grab a shovel. I can tell you what to do. You can follow me at Rico Report on Twitter, or Rico Coin Report on YouTube, BitChute, my blog as well. So you guys want to find more information about me, go in there and follow me. There's some really good events coming up in this fall, in the end of summer. And I just think people should be awake that there's such big projects to be done right now. And you could be getting in. You could be creating what Bitcoin Mama, or what was that lady? Big Boss Lady? Big Boss? It's Me Boss Lady? Excuse me, I couldn't remember her name. It's Me Boss Lady. She was talking about this VR thing with the kids coding it, and you can be all in this huge interactive, you know, like a forum. Everybody's there together, and they're talking about Bitcoin. That's gonna go huge. That's gonna go on Facebook. It's gonna get big. And when people can, I don't use VR sets because of my beliefs and like the whole connection around your head. I used to play what was it called, Virtual Boy, and like they came out and they were gone within like a year or less because they're causing cancer, and it was just like too much for the head to take with all the energy. But I know they have these new things where you can just use like cardboard box cutouts, she said. I think that's great. Point in case, so much to be done, guys. So much work to be done. Get out there. Get off your Twitter account. Go do something, and maybe get some fresh air. Get some oxygen into your lungs to create new ideas. And get dirty, you know. Create new ideas, make messes, and see where it takes you. You know, you'll be happy you did it while the weather's good.
it's definitely a good point. Once you've made your plays, changed your positions, there's not much else you can do. Going for a walk, having the day off, that's a good way to go. I mean, sure, everyone has to adjust their positions. It's going up or it's going down, whatever it may be. But after you've done that, get away from that screen. You can
Absolutely.
check again in 6 hours or something. You don't have to be there all day unless you're a serious day trader and that's your strategy. That's your strategy.
Oh,
We're taking a look at the chat. They say, didn't Coinbase allow comments before, or CoinDesk? And yeah, I think they used to allow comments. That's strange if they don't anymore. I know a lot of people, their comment section kind of gets overrun. So you have too many altcoiners or too many scammers or something like that. So
mhm.
they just shut them down. So I've seen that happen before. It's better to have some kind of a quiz or something. So yeah, gave that guy the picture of the dude. Hope he follows back and responds to us on Twitter. If CoinDesk is not paying him in crypto, I can certainly get him a job where they will. And it's pretty tragic that somebody could work for CoinDesk and not even own any Bitcoin. I think there's something wrong with that company. And it's one thing, yeah, you want to say that at the bottom, but geez, that guy's been writing articles for like 3 months, 6 months now or something. We've been quoting him for a lot, and it's tragic for him that he doesn't have any Bitcoin. Like, why does he not even care? I don't even know. So,
I
let's
actually,
see.
I'm looking at his Twitter. I just followed him and sent him a message. And yeah, that is a sad thing, you know, to be working for somebody not getting. It's like nurses who don't get health insurance. That's just odd, you know. So
They can't play the system. Yeah.
I mean, even 10 satoshis would be a big difference, you know. Not a big deal. Uh, I hope he gets them, and he's preaching and he doesn't know what he's preaching about, or he doesn't have any at least. That's odd.
Well, he should have some to try it out too. What if he's
Absolutely.
never used a wallet? What if he's just reading these charts blindly, not even knowing what he's talking about? I mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
sad. Like, uh,
until you have a foot at stake and you're actually putting something into it, it's hard to comment on things because this is a changing market, and people who are out there creating applications and studying, I think this is the time to study. This is the time to make mistakes and apply it yourself, because we don't know what we're dealing with, you know. And good on him for. I mean, I hope he goes out and gets some. But yeah, I looked at his articles and I was really impressed. That's pretty sad, actually. It's kind of frustrating to see. There's a lot of misinformation and disinformation, and a lot of it is just an illusion. They don't really know what they're talking about. We all take somebody else's word, but it's your own word you should be taking, right?
Well, I've heard of some cryptocurrency gurus that don't have any skin in the game. And I think that's a big mistake. I don't think you want to follow somebody like that. If somebody's saying, "Oh, I think it's going to go down to $43, but I'm holding all of mine because I don't care if it goes up or down." That's really disingenuous. I don't know how you could report on something every day, watch your people win or lose money, and be there on the sidelines just shrugging your shoulders saying, "Well, it's gone down so much I can't even sell. And I still believe it goes back up. But at the same time, I tell everybody it's going down." It's pretty strange. It's a strange place to be. Like Nicholas Taleb said in that book, you got to have skin in the game. If you're talking to someone that has skin in the game, they're going up or down with you. They're a part of it. They're not so powerful and separate that they can just walk next to this thing and not have skin in the game. So I hope Omkar will join us and become a Bitcoiner. I'm not sure why he's not already. I don't know why he works there. Like,
That's a good question. That's a very good
he could be
question.
he could be charting widgets. It wouldn't matter if you've got no skin in the game. They're talking about Bitcoins. If the Canadians were holding Bitcoins, uh, Lewis says in the chat he would sell his apartment straight away if it was $43. And yeah, I know everyone's always saying they're all saying, "How did he come up with $43? Why not 42? Like,
That's
why
funny.
not anything else?" Why are SegWit addresses so important? Oh, bell
Trying to
time,
mute
10
me.
o'clock. And so yeah, basically transaction fees were a bit an issue because Bitcoin was very popular. There was a spam attack going on the network. I'm not sure you guys have thought about it, but if you control 40% of the miners, you can spam attack and get your spam money back 40% of the time. This makes your spam attack 40% cheaper. That's a really good deal. No one else who doesn't own 40% of the miners can get that kind of deal on a spam attack. So there was a serious spam attack. There was a major debate going on about how to scale Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was able to soft fork an upgrade that is still compatible with the previous update to segregated witness. Separating the witness, separating the signatures, changed the way that the Bitcoin is calculated and broke ASIC boost. So the other
Wow.
side can't mine at a 30% advantage anymore. After this was done, it also changed the address format. So it is important to use the new address format if you want to use the new cheaper fees provided by SegWit. However, because SegWit is backwards compatible, it's a soft fork. You can continue using your old Bitcoin address. You could send your money to another old Bitcoin address, and you can pay whatever the old fees are. So backwards compatible, soft fork, better than a hard fork, which is not backwards compatible and that would be hard forked again in the future. They've said if it fills the current block limit, they will hard fork again. So that's again more incompatible Bitcoin. I don't know why Bittrex is not using SegWit addresses. We've seen even CoinDesk or Coinbase has upgraded to the new addresses to save money and to provide a cheaper product for their users. I know BitPay has not updated to the newest addresses and still are charging incredible fees to their users. Whereas the CoinDesk, whatever it's called now, CoinDesk Premium or CoinDesk Pro, now says that Bitcoin transactions are cheap and free. Once again, they're covering the transaction cost because SegWit made the transactions cheaper. During the whole fee thing, CoinDesk and Coinbase, they actually started charging for transactions. So that's been a big change, pretty different. So yeah, I would get on that, get on the new addresses. Let's see.
Yeah, people need to update their wallets and make sure that the addresses are updated to the networks they're working with, because you will pay a lot in fees, and you need to be aware where you're buying it. That's kind of something that I've been interested or dealing with right now, because it's a peer-to-peer ledger, so you are more than welcome to go buy it from your neighbor, sell it to your neighbor, help them set up a wallet, send them some Bitcoin, get the crowd kind of growing just around you. And the more that you grow around you will create a larger crowd as well, or audience and users. So, and you don't need to buy it from you don't have to go to the people that hold all the keys, or you could just get it yourself. There's so many other ways to get it. Just wanted to say that.
Cool. I'm trying to pull up a Bitcoin SegWit site. I'm not sure I have the right site. We're going to keep looking around. Maybe you guys tell me which one I need to click on here. Nodes, maybe?
I haven't been to this website, so this is quite interesting.
Lots of Bitcoin core nodes, historical nodes, UASF, Bitcoin Unlimited. I'm sure it's on this site somewhere. I get the feeling this is the right site. But let's just go back to the chat. Let's talk to the chat some more. Let's see. Bullshark said that the Bitcoin ETF will allow people to invest in Bitcoin in a tax-free wrapper. And I do think that's the important thing about the ETF. A lot of people are given money by their business. They can then hold this money tax-free and invest it in the stock market. So they can buy a bunch of different stocks. And then when it's time to sell, then they pay the taxes on their winnings. So you get to invest with pre-tax money. What the ETF would do is it would allow these people to invest some of their money into Bitcoin directly on the stock market. They wouldn't have to figure out how to use a wallet. They wouldn't have to worry about holding Bitcoin, any of those things. And like Bullshark says, hopefully the fees are not too high, so that these people can get a good deal on their ETF Bitcoin, and we can have more investors in Bitcoin.
We definitely need more investors. ETFs are very exciting. What's happening if we regulate it and it becomes a currency that is used on a more primary base scale? I think a lot of businesses will get incentives. I think a lot of people new to the space will probably get incentives. Yes, there'll be more regulation, but that's the point of it. It'll be much safer. And I think once it goes mainstream, it's going to be something that you're going to want to have gotten to the party before everybody, bum rushes it and FOMOs, and you don't want to be a part of that, because then it becomes like, well, with the Lightning Network, maybe not, but everything would just become a huge mess. So while the waters are calm, I reckon people should educate themselves before it gets FOMO'd, and just realize what's at your hands right now. You can go get some Satoshis or give some, that's all right. If you want to give some to the World Crypto Network, or Mad Bitcoins, or Rico Report. We love that. So go ahead and just throw a few Satoshis and just give some out, See how it feels to exchange, or get some as well. It's kind of a nice feeling.
And it says in the chat, IBLB asks, why would you use an old address and pay more? I'm not sure why people would do that, but I just like pointing out that it's an option. When you hear all this talk about Satoshi's original vision and all that kind of nonsense, Satoshi's original vision is still running just fine. Bitcoin, the upgrade was a soft fork. It's still compatible with the old addresses. It's really kind of amazing. Just from a technical standpoint, I stand back and I'm kind of in awe how they can manage to do this, how they can keep the old addresses going and at the same time adopt a new, more efficient address format, adopt a new and more efficient way of sending around money, and give us the option to move to the Lightning Network and other side chains. That's only the first side chain that we're talking about all the time. It's amazing. It's an amazing technological update. It's really it's a tour de force, right? It's pretty amazing. So I've checked out the SegWit adoption site. I couldn't quite find it. If you guys can tell me in the chat where to go directly, I'd be glad to show you a SegWit adoption thing. Can you still get an airdrop from your SegWit address? I don't know for sure, but generally, I think yes. Generally, the way an airdrop works is they pull the current Bitcoin network and they say, okay, who has what? This guy has 1 Bitcoin, that guy has 3. Then they say, okay, we're going to give you Bitcoin garbage. And they give you Bitcoin garbage, and that guy gets 1 and the other guy gets 3. And you still have the private key that fits into that lock. It's as if you had a padlock on the first blockchain, and that was your private key. And then when they made a copy of it, they made a perfect copy of your padlock that now works on the new blockchain. So now you can go over there and use your same private key to claim your Bitcoin garbage, right? But the problem is that's the same private key that holds your real Bitcoin, right? So you're going to want to move your real Bitcoin to a new address so that you'll have a new private key to keep that Bitcoin safe. Then you could use this old private key to claim your Bitcoin garbage. That's why it's so dangerous to claim these hard forks, these airdrops, these copies of Bitcoin, because you are using your private key. Your padlock works on both accounts. So that's important to keep in mind. It can be very dangerous. The amount of upside can also be very small. Personally, I only claimed my Bitcoin Cash. I didn't claim my Bitcoin Gold or my Bitcoin Diamond. It just became not worth it. The amount of upside didn't outweigh the potential of losing all my money by accident. So,
Absolutely. People with the wallets, you are a bank. You are your own financier. You hold all the keys. If you hold all the keys, you should have each wallet when you updated it, when you gave its new creation, what it's used for. You can utilize each wallet for something different, and that's the technology. You don't see the vast array of the utilization of these wallets, whether you want to use it for just a saving block of Bitcoin, for example, or a spending block that you use the Lightning Network through, and you know that the keys are going to work with that, and the ones that are maybe for savings that are off cold storage or in paper wallets, as Andreas Antonopoulos likes to talk about paper wallets. When I first heard about paper wallets, I thought that was the most ludicrous idea. I wouldn't leave that on, I wouldn't leave that on a piece of paper. But then if you think about it, if you just have the documents in a hard copy on a file, it's just like any other information. So the wallets are a beautiful thing. You are your own banker, so you need to be able to secure your stuff, feel comfortable that you're securitizing it, whatever way you want to do it. There's a multitude of ways. Don't put it all in one area. And realize this is an incredible thing that we have here. So just research and you apply it to your own portfolio.
all right. It sounds like the dog is barking downstairs again. So I'm gonna have to go see what he wants. You can give us a call now on Skype, World Crypto Network, all one word. We're also tracking in the chat. Somebody says, "Have you ever heard of EOS?" It's like, yeah, I watched the John Oliver show. I've heard of that. It is kind of fun though to gamble or invest or whatever you want to call it on something that John Oliver says is crap. What I liked about what John Oliver said is all the things he said about EOS. I also said it about Ethereum at the time. And at least so far, according to the price, I'm very wrong on Ethereum. So it'd be very interesting to see John Oliver be very wrong on EOS. He had a lot of good points, but a lot of his points go away because I've heard that they've removed Brock Pierce from the project. Much respect to Brock, but he wasn't exactly a good spokesperson for the brand as he started to drift in the life of being a billionaire and ruling like a king over Puerto Rico. So I still think he's a very interesting character, but maybe not a good front man for your altcoin project. They want a extremely user-friendly way to use Bitcoin. Explaining SegWit to his mom, you do not want to do that. We're still very early in Bitcoin. People are talking about the Lightning wallets. Don't worry, it won't be enough. But hello, caller. You're live on the World Crypto Network. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Jose Ortega. I'm calling from Mexico. How you guys doing tonight? This afternoon?
We're doing good.
Whatever it is.
Let's see, I might be able to get your video back here, but no, Skype says no. Oh well.
Hold on, let me see.
It came up in the little. It came up in the little window, and
How
then it
are you guys doing today?
went away. Oh, we're doing good. I'm gonna go check on the dog. Why don't you talk to Rico for just 5 minutes? Tell him what you think's going on. Ricardo and Jose, go ahead, guys.
Yeah, sure. How's it going, Rico?
Jose, hola amigo, ¿cómo estás?
Doing
¿Estás
good.
bien? Deco. Dude, I'm good, man. Yeah, how are you doing? Let's hear the updates down in Mexico.
Oh, the update down here. It's nice. You know, it's beautiful. Beautiful weather all the time. Yeah, it's nice.
Sun, a lot of sun, right? I mean, it's like LA. That's the one thing that LA has. It's got a lot of sun.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, the weather. I think the weather here is a little better, but you know, that's just my opinion.
Fair enough. So, what are your thoughts on what's going on in Bitcoin and all the news about if it's going to plummet?
Nah, it's not going to plummet. We already know that. Are you kidding me? I think we're about to hit a bull run, and you know, in all honestly, like you know, in all honesty, when you guys were talking about you know, the EOS and talking about other projects, and you know, just in general of you know, what this space means, it's just look, how about this? When we're talking about Bitcoin, it's just all this is just another currency. So just look at it like that. Nothing else but that. It's a currency that we control. The end.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
why not invest in that? You know, and that's really it. I mean, you know, if you invest in fiat, then you're just investing in governments, and you're investing in you know, all that bad stuff that comes with them. You know, right? You're investing in the politicians' pockets. You're investing in bombs. You know, killing babies and all that good stuff. So the thing is, it's like, why not just invest in Bitcoin and you know, see if you can change your future, and not just Bitcoin. You know, but like for example, when we're talking about, let's say, Ethereum versus EOS. You know, to me, I think it's you know, very, you know, it's not that hard of a choice, because like, well, right now it is, because you know, the economy is still doing good, but like in a few months when the economy crashes and there's no money to go around, you know, people are not going to be using Ethereum. People are not going to have any money, you know, you know, not just, you know, use Ethereum in the gas prices, and you know, whatever. Ethereum costs money, and then a project like EOS or other projects like that, you know, they don't cost money. Or like, let's say something like we're looking at pre-search. You know, pre-search is a website. It's not a website. It's a search engine that pays you to search. All right, here, let me type it in for you guys. But anyway, pre-search is amazing. Just like the basic attention token, you know, pays you, you know, to do. Hold on, let me see if I can do.
So it sounds like you're trying to talk about there's a lot of.
But anyway, it's called presearch.org. You know, yeah. PRE token, and you know, again, like you literally, you know, can use the, you know, all the search engines, you know, at the same time, and as you're searching, it literally pays you tokens. And same thing is like, again, when we're talking about the basic attention token, where it pays you, it's not, you
Absolutely.
know, these are the projects we're looking for. We're looking for projects that, you know, like Steam It, you know, that pay the
Absolutely.
user, or you know, help the, you know, like, and help create an economy, as opposed to create another middleman. We're literally trying to cut away all middlemen. All right, that's the whole point of like this whole space. Like, just that's what Bitcoin does. It cuts out the main middleman, which is the central banks. And so when we're looking at all these other projects, you know, if they're just being another middleman, I mean, you know, they're not really going to accomplish anything. You know, that's all. Anyway, yeah, I don't know if you want to add anything.
That's absolutely true. What I was going to say. Hold on one second. Feedback. Okay, there we go. So what I was going to say is that what you're talking about sounds like a lot of what is going on in the space is of new technology. You're talking about exchanges that you don't have to pay a lot, and it's really cheap, and it's almost free to use it. There are a lot of good things out there. I think that a lot of things have been branded and have become really big, and there's a huge space for the idea of making money off of these new ideas, which is good. But I also think people need to sit back a little bit and think about, what is this all kind of trading on, which platform? And you're absolutely right. Bitcoin is, I look at it as more of an investment. So I don't look at it as means of exchange, but that's my opinion. So this is, I want you guys to know that from an opinion of somebody who's investing in it right now. Eventually, when it reaches a place where it stabilizes and I see it being adopted, I'm going to use it. But my opinion on this is that there's a lot of technology out there. I think Jose is talking about different platforms we can be utilizing like you were talking about, those websites that will pay you to look at the information or use the websites. There's a lot of coins that are out there that I've looked at that are incredible. I could go on about the different blockchain coins, but thing is also there is a lot of excuse me. There's a lot of lies and things that are controlled, and I don't really own a lot of EOS because of that reason. Okay, I've seen it go sideways, and I've kind of researched it in my own circle of research, and I think what they're doing is a good idea, but I don't want to invest in it. Rather than Bitcoin, I feel full-heartedly it's a good place to be for me, and that's just my opinion. So I do think there's good stuff out there and there's bad stuff in there. But yes, with Bitcoin, there's going to be heaps of new technology, and that's what we're in the mess. We're going to be getting into the mess of it all, I think, with blockchain technology.
Well, yeah. Like I agree with you. To me, it's it's all about the Pandora's box is open, and right now, it's we're at the very beginning of, like, remember back in the day when we were going through the .com era. We're still at the very beginning of that. So like that's why we have like so many shit coins out there. And again, if you're a trader, if that's what you do, if you know how to work the market, hell, go for it. I mean, are you killing me? Make a killing and do your thing. But the reality is that most people that even just look at most of these projects, they understand that they're shit projects. Like.
Well, most people aren't. Most people you're talking about
just pushing the space forward. We have to have a lot of failures, many failures, before we have successes. And it's like just like when we had like first internet, the first internet browser. I mean, remember, a lot of people were using AOL for the longest time, before they couldn't even use Internet Explorer because they were afraid. And it's
no, you're right. This is new. I think when you said a lot of people, I want to quote that, because a lot of people to you and me means like a lot of people that we would converse with, meaning that would be, we would see them at a Bitcoin forum. A lot of people is not a lot of people. If you think about it, a lot of people you could numb it down to maybe 100 people that you talk to in a yearly basis, where you could be like, well, the majority of people don't even know what Bitcoin is, let alone blockchain technology, because the control doesn't want you to know about that. And that's, we're all in control. Okay, whether it's the relationships of the powers that are around you that control the societies, or the money, but we are in control. I think blockchain is the birth of humans, the power of a single person to create a massive change. I think Bitcoin has already done that. We've already seen that. When it went up, I utilized it in a great way. You do have to take profits. That's part of owning your own bank. That's what money is. It's about having and using that to buy, exchange, whatever. But yeah, I think that people need to realize that this is the dawn of the world's information on exchange. You can exchange anything, any way you want, secretly, openly, peer-to-peer, mass, minimal, minuscule, any way you want, internationally, on a 24-hour basis, and we don't realize that. So I think people need to share the information, bring people to the platform, and just change one person at a time, because that is going to change the entire world, rather than freaking out about the price or getting upset because maybe there's a pump and dump coin or there's a shit coin you invested into. And until you've done that, until you've done your investment and you've lost a lot of money, which I think is a valuable lesson, you don't know whether you're at the age of 45, whether the age of 50, whether you're at the dawning age of becoming into finances and you're 18 years old. You need to realize it's a good lesson to learn. People need to scrape and get their knees, bruised and bloodied before you can really know what's going on. And yeah, we're at the dawn of exchange for humanity, I think.
Yeah, for sure. We're going through like a humongous paradigm shift right now. And the thing is that, we quickly forget that as we're going, we've gone through many paradigm shifts in just the last few decades, when it comes to technology. And the reality is, look, I don't really think that most people are not going to know, or they're never going to know how the blockchain works, how this peer-to-peer thing works, how Bitcoin works. Just like right now, a lot of people don't really know how the internet works or technology works. They just know it works.
Right.
And that's the thing. we know how it works. You know what I mean? We understand how it works. We're the builders. We're the ones that are talking about it. We're the ones that are pushing that shift, that paradigm shift. But again, all this is going to be, all this is doing is just like how you were saying, it's releasing us from the powers that be. Right now, we're under control by the central banks. We're under control by governments. We're under control by a lot of entities that, again, they control the money. But when we, the people, control the money again, you know, we control the money. And then again, we've never done this in human history where the people actually print the money. We have the control of currency. That's like a humongous paradigm shift, and you know, people just don't, you know, not like, I don't think they're putting it together. And then, you know, when it comes to like the other stuff, you know, when I was bringing up the other projects, you know, these other projects, again, they're going to be changing the world. Like, for example, like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this guy named Jeremy Rifkin. This guy is an economist, and he talks about near zero marginal cost. All right. And you know, he talks about, like, this is, you know, before Bitcoin, he was talking about like the future, how things are going to run on the you know, the Internet of Things, and you know, the smart grid, and you know, things like that. And then, you know, now as Bitcoin and blockchain have come into the picture, it's like, this is how we're going to be able to build a future that, you know what I mean, like, it's going to be almost cost free, like, for humanity. Like, and in fact, in some cases, you know, when we order an Uber on our phone, we get in the Uber and we take it from point A to point B, we might actually be earning tokens as opposed to spending money. You know, and it's like, this is a humongous paradigm shift, which is like really hard for a lot of people to really wrap their head around. And again, you know, the central banks, you know, you know, they don't want any of this, you know, to come out. They don't want any of this to develop. But again, they can't stop it. You know what I mean? They can't even contain it. You know, like the sayings, like, you know, that you can't even contain it. No, yeah, they can't. There's nothing they can do about this. It's just, you know, we're very early on. But
I think that
it's like, you know, like Bob Marley says, you know, it's what is wealth? You know, what does wealth, you know, really mean, and what does it mean to you? Is it possessions or is it life? You know?
Well, there is absolutely. There is something you did say that I wanted to kind of argue the point against, just to wake people up. There is something that these powers can do. There's an absolute something, and they are doing it. They're trying to shove it underneath the carpet. They're trying to keep it from happening. They're trying to keep this thing from exploding and becoming normal case use, just like the internet. It took a long time for the internet to be released, the technology. They didn't realize how massive technology of the internet was changed the world, let alone reporting. But now we're letting people print their own money. Okay, that's the thing. What they're doing to fight it is they're keeping it in the bag. They're downing it. They're trying to control it secretly from the top, slowly. It's a delicate situation. I think that the powers that be are they're surgically trying to create this thing into their powers so that it can control it. And I don't realize, I think that the thing that we're doing that we're mistaking is we're not realizing it's here. It's like, we don't know what fire is. We don't know what it is because we haven't burned ourselves. No one's gone out there. And actually, here's an example. When I first got into Bitcoin, it went up. I started in December. It went up to 20,000. I was in shock. I pulled out as fast as I could, what I thought it was, you know, unless it kept going up. Point in case is I learned from that because it dropped majorly, you know, and even though I put some more money in it, the amount that it dropped, I didn't, you know, I lost it, which was a bummer. But what I'm saying is people need to go in there. They need to go and do the exchanges, get some Satoshis, put $100 fiat dollar, you know, of fiat that's obviously declining, that is causing wars. It is controlling the oils, and you are investing into these bad products. It's like when you go and buy some cereal and you buy just poison. It's just literally poison. You put some milk in it and you're just crunching along eating poisons, because people don't realize, they don't know what they have in their hands. You know, control of your own money is like having fire, and you can use it on a massive scale. And I wanted to say something that had come up earlier in the chat, and it was It's Me Boss Lady had said this, and she says she doesn't realize how many people have never actually exchanged it off an exchange or used it for buying anything. And until you buy something with it and you have taken the profits, until you've done that, until you've put in $100, euros, whatever it might be, and it goes up to 200, you take that 100 out and you spend it, and you're still creating more. You don't know that. You need to go out and feel what it is to have your own Satoshis, what it is to have your own whatever other blockchain you want to use. But yes, you're absolutely right, Jose. They don't want us to know, but that's the thing, is that's what they're doing to keep it from happening, is they're trying to keep it in.
Sure, and again, the way I look at it is that, again, they're going to try to control it, just like they make prostitution illegal, or or they make
weed,
drugs illegal.
marijuana.
It's not stopping it from people to doing it. So like, no, I mean, they're going to try. They're going to do everything they can, and in fact, I think that by them doing all this regulation, in the sense of like, making it okay, that's their attempt at, trying to control it, instead of like, because they understand, like, if they go backwards, like, it's just reverse psychology. They're not trying to, get people away from
Absolutely.
It's like this. Look, man, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought, because I had something else I wanted to
showing
say.
everybody there's a parakeet that just came out of nowhere and landed on my balcony. There's a parakeet up there. But I was going to say is, no, you know what? They are going to try to do what they're going to do. Oh, you can't see it. Never mind.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. Oh, sorry. I remember what I was going to say. Like, look, like, the thing is just like this. I read some stat the other day that literally 50% of humanity is still not even on the internet. Okay, so just look at it like that, and then like, how many more people around the world don't even have a bank? They're unbanked. There's no bank within their community. The central bank hasn't even got to them yet. And right now we're moving very, very fast, where there's people around the world that live in dirt huts, in villages, all over the world, and they're literally getting access to electricity, internet, cell phones, technology, currency, all at the same time. And when they're getting exposed to this stuff, they're not getting, when they're getting exposed to currency, they're not, they're bypassing like the whole central bank, like a lot of these areas.
They're avoiding the middleman.
Going straight to cryptocurrencies. And
yeah,
as far as I understand, the people in these communities can actually, trade currency without even internet. Like,
yeah, you're right. They're taking out the middleman. You said this earlier. They are taking out the middleman. That's what we need. It's good that we're regulating, because it became on a mass scale, but at the same sense, this is a great time that's not regulated. This is the pre-regulation. There is this whole idea of, okay, let's say before Great Britain went to China, China had their opium and they were using it for medicinal uses, and of course they have uses of it, but once Great Britain found out about it and they conquered it and they took it and they used it and they sold it, it became a dark, evil thing, And at the same time, Bitcoin has gone through that change, and now it's a good thing. And I do believe that once it becomes on a massively scale adopted by banks, it's going to be a completely different market. People don't know what this is, what blockchain technology is. You have power at your hands. Educate yourself, pull in as much information, and just learn, just learn about what the internet of exchange and peer-to-peer exchange, what we could even almost get rid of the word money. We could just get rid of the entire idea of money, okay? And we could just do blockchain exchange, and that would be kind of nice. So just go out there, guys, apply it yourself and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing you brought that up, because the future currency is going to be, the tokenized future. So it's like, you're going to have social currency and social value and things like that. And it's going to be like a different kind of currency. Remember, all currency is just a mediums of exchange. That's all it is. And money is held. I'm sorry, my English is not so good, but it's like held the wealth. You know what I mean? Like where you hedge against, your wealth. So like, that's what money is. Money is where, like gold, silver, Bitcoin, in the sense of
investment. It's what it's worth.
It's like an asset that you hold, you know what I mean, in order to like, amass your wealth. And then currency is just what you use on a day-to-day basis, to buy coffee, to buy a car, to pay your rent, whatever.
Absolutely. It's a means of a value. You're holding its wealth and worth. You said something called back about people walking in with gold chains and silver chains, and I come from a Hispanic culture. It's true. You wear what it's worth. I I have a gold ring. That's pretty much it. But I know that I bought my wife a diamond platinum ring, and not because of its worth, but because of its rarity. You know, at the same time, as a Hispanic culture, we wear what it's worth. Cash is great, whatever. But now it's no longer a needs of exchange. You can do blockchain exchange. When you use your card, it's the exact same thing. When your credit card, if you never use cash and you just use credit cards and you get paid direct deposit, that's kind of a technology that's seamless. There's no cash involved. And when you get to blockchain technology and a person is doing that, somebody you know, and you know that person's creating that coin, or you believe in that coin, or you use it, and once these coins start to gain traction, whether it's Dash, Litecoin, excuse me for saying these things on the Bitcoin network, but it's used through Bitcoin, and or you create your own. I've always thought about that. I think that's another thing that I was going to get into. People don't realize that's in front of you. You can create your own coin. So Andreas is kind of getting into alternative coins. He talks about blockchain technology using it on a mass scale because I think he sees past the horizon that we see. Once you get to that horizon and you're there, there's another horizon you can see from afar. And when you see that, you're starting to realize that you are now to that stage. You've accepted it, you've adopted it, you're using it. People are way behind you. People haven't even gotten to the party yet. They haven't dealt with the FUD, the loss of, you know, cryptocurrency. The use of it is mental. The fact that you can pay for so much stuff and you don't ever have to, you know, just you don't touch it or anything. That's great. You know, I still pay school loans back in America, in Europe, and I'm glad that the euro is, you know, costs more because I get a little bit better, but I'm still paying off these banks, you know, and in Europe it's free to go to school, or in France it is. But what I'm saying is, yeah, we don't need the middlemen anymore. And you have the ways to create money or blockchain exchanges, peer-to-peer. If you want to exchange it with your neighbor, get them to invest in the same coin that you have. Call it neighbor coin, and that neighborhood uses neighbor coin, and everybody's exchanging on neighbor coin. And that way you can fund your own projects, you can fund your own ideas, and you can fund your own movements, whatever that means, to help somebody get better, or to fundraise for a team, or for your own cause, or if you want to build a lake or something. My parents used to live on my parents back in the States live in a lake in Oregon, and they all put money in it yearly that helps create these rules of assets that they you know, of like how they're going to do with the money around the area to keep it nice. And I think that we need to realize that that's what blockchain technology is. It's a way to exchange worth, value, assets, like you said, Jose, what you can put into the project on a private, peer-to-peer, non-governmental controlled means, or middleman, where they're taking their part. Just saying.
Imagine the day when somebody finally creates a simple app or a dApp that allows people to create their own coin. You know, to just create their own coin within like a 5-minute, you know, just like when you create your own profile, like in Tinder or something, you know, and you just create something in 5 seconds or 5 minutes. So just imagine that, you know, when somebody does create that app or dApp that will allow people to do that. And then, yeah, we're going to see a humongous explosion to what all this is. Because as you were just saying, you know, making the neighborhood token and making, you know, each individual token. And then, you know, for example, like if, you know, instead of having a Patreon, you know, people would just buy into your token. And that's
Voila.
it.
Voila. Parfait. Oui, c'est bon. It's a beautiful idea. That's a great thing to think about. We're not there yet. People are still scared about Bitcoin. They're scared about adopting technology. And I can understand that. I remember when I was researching, and I would go to the library, and I'm just used to looking in books. And then I'd have to use this like computer to like find something. And then half the time when you put in the, you know, you look something up, it wouldn't come up with anything. Or you're just used to using old almanacs and like encyclopedias, and you know exactly which issue, which letter, and you can kind of, you know, the internet is new, and it's, you know, now it's walking, but Bitcoin is new and it's not walking yet. It's still crawling.
Yeah, for sure. So like, I mean, honestly, like it's like you said, like the whole scary part, like if someone were to create like a simple app or dApp, but, you know, probably an app now, you know, to fit on, you know, all phones, but like, you know, they would allow people to just mess around with this whole concept of, you know, what it is to create a token, what it is to have a token, your own token, to, you know, trade these tokens amongst your friends, you know, on social media, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, maybe to get to the point where these tokens will eventually get some sort of value, and then people will be like, man, maybe I can trade these tokens for some Bitcoin. And yeah, but that's how we get from, I mean, that'll be a way to get from point A to point B, and then start getting mass adoption and early adoption with everybody, you know, especially young kids and millennials and that whole thing, because it's like, yeah, it's just tokenizing everything. You know, that's the key, I think, you know, tokenizing everything, creating an Instagram, you know, where people get, you know, tokens, for doing, for doing everything they do, just like Steam It, where people earn on Steam It. You know, that's the thing. But the thing is, there's no real incentive for companies to create these things just yet, because they're just still trying to figure out if they can make money on it or not make money on it and stuff like that. So that's why we need people like Dan Larimer to just create this stuff and put it out there and have people figure it out. And that's it. You know what I mean? Like, hopefully there's enough, programmers out there that will, pick it up. And, hopefully there's the way I'm seeing is this, that right now, as we're talking on this radio show, that there's a Mark Zuckerberg out there, or a Steve Jobs out there, literally like in their early 20s, working on their computer in their dorm room, in their garage, listening to this, getting ideas while they're programming. And these are the people that are going to be building the future and building these things. And I mean, that's why I can't stop talking about it, and especially when I see someone young, because it's like, yeah, man, you got to get their ear. And once they realize like the power that they could have by just, learning a few things, man, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Jose, you're on it. I do appreciate all that you're putting out there. Absolutely. It has not been adopted on a mass scale. I think we need to adopt our own ways. You know, it's just like anything. It takes time. We're going to all reach that summit on our own time. And we all have to run our own blockchain, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency learning race. So yeah, I really appreciate your call, man. I do.
And thanks so much, Jose, for your call, and thanks, Ricardo, for keeping it going so I can have a little break there. I do want to try to open up the phone call lines again so we can get someone else on here. Jose, anything you want to say in closing today? Tell them where they can find your blog and stuff.
I really appreciate it. Sorry we couldn't chat too much today, Thomas. But regardless, yeah, I'm gonna get going so others can talk. But I have been posting up new videos, so if you guys want to check out my YouTube page or whatever, just go ahead and check it out. Maybe somebody can type it in there for me or whatever. All right, guys, thanks again. Enjoy and have a great day. I'm gonna be listening. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much, Jose. And check out Jose's work at Jose Arteaga. I think it's josearteaga.com, or just Google maybe like Jose Arteaga Bitcoin, something like that. It should come right up. But we're going to go ahead and call back the person who just called, because they're probably still there. So giving you a call. Hello, caller. You're live on the World Crypto Network. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, hello. It's IBOB from Long Beach, and I was down with Jose until he started talking like 30 minutes ago, or whenever it was.
Well, I know how excited people get about the idea of tokenizing everything, and I know that personally, I don't believe there's an efficient enough marketplace where we could trade for Tommy Coin, for Joey Coin, for Freddie Coin, for Target Coin, for Amazon Coin. If one of those bounces goes through Toys R Us Coin and they go bankrupt on the day I was accidentally holding some, it could be a real problem, and suddenly that market's not so efficient. It matters if you're holding Target Coin or Amazon Coin. They're not all the same coin. But I enjoy differences of opinion, and I want people to be able to tell their truth. And if he thinks everyone should have their own coin, and he's saying that honestly, and I believe him, I don't have a problem with him saying it. And I don't think he'd have a problem with me disagreeing with him. So,
All right, but these future Mark Zuckerbergers and whatever, they are going to work on Bitcoin when they find it. They're not going to make their own shitcoin. When you truly see what it is, you are going to work on it. If you are a tech or coder, or you are not going to be like, oh, let me go make my own.
I'd like to believe that, but there might be another step in there. There might be a step where Zuckerberg can't give up the idea that he could create his own coin. He can't get away from the brilliance that he could just print a bunch of money. And I think they have to kind of try that and fail. I think there might be a step there where Facebook prints their own coin. They try to compete with Bitcoin, just like Google Plus tried to compete with Facebook, and they put all of their money and all of their power behind it, and then it fails. And I think at that point they'll give up and they'll come back to Bitcoin and they'll write apps on Bitcoin, and they'll forget about that old private coin idea. They'll be like, yeah, no, I kind of wish we'd never done that because it was such a waste of time. But I think they can't get over that idea of printing your own money. It's just too exciting for them.
Yeah, and the more coins you make, the more crypto money there is. The 21 million is no longer 21 million.
Well, the 21 million is still 21 million. It doesn't get us a single more Bitcoin. I've heard people try to say that the crypto dividends or the free coins that you get from an airdrop somehow affect the number of Bitcoin. And I don't see that at all. There's still 21 million. There's still around 5 million that are being floated and trading. And there's less being made every day. I think it definitely makes more crypto assets. But if you want to do that, you could say every Ethereum token and every ERC20 token all add up to a bigger number. And now there's a bigger number of crypto shares available or whatever you want to call them. And but once again, we can't control that. We certainly can't stop people from printing endless amounts of Ethereum or endless amounts of Ethereum tokens. All of these things are not limited. I still believe Bitcoin's limited at 21 million units.
Yeah, I just feel like all the money is wasted on making your coin or building another coin or getting people to buy your shit coin. If it would have gone to Bitcoin and shit, we'd be a little better off right now.
I agree. It's definitely a waste, but unfortunately, I think it's a waste we have to go through. These marketing guys need to market. These money guys need to make money, and printing their own coin seems like a great way to make money and spend money on marketing. So a lot of people have done it, and I think a lot of people are going to keep doing it. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I just want to make sure that everybody out there gets a SegWit wallet and then learns how to use Lightning because it's already out there. You just have to mess with it. You know, I do it all the time. I'm paying fees to myself on myself, but I'm like learning
Mm-hmm.
to do it. You know, you can do it with the mobile wallet. You know, just familiar yourself with the tech, the buttons, and what they mean, and all that. I have
Absolutely.
so many wallets.
I was saying yesterday is that people should just get $10 in Bitcoin on Coinbase and then send it to their phone, send it to their computer, send it back to Coinbase.
Use Cash App.
Cash App, doesn't matter. Any of the centralized temporary services that we're using now. Even better, if your buddy has Bitcoin, get $5 off him. Give him $5. Something like that is a great way to get Bitcoin. But if you don't have a buddy, you probably have to use Cash App or Coinbase or maybe local Bitcoins. Go meet somebody and just get some Bitcoin. Try it out. They're also saying in the chat you could use testnet Bitcoin to send it around, but that actually might be more confusing to normal people because it's just confusing. But either way, put even just $10 isn't too much. If you lost all of the $10, I hope it wouldn't be the end of the world for you. I hope you'd be okay. So.
Yeah, and I'm gonna take up. It's a boss lady. It's me, boss lady, on that because I'm gonna set up a table at my show this Saturday. And
Awesome.
I'm not gonna use music coins. Sorry, I'm just not into other coins.
Yeah, it's hard. There's so many special coins made to help artists or help musicians.
Look, you started accepting some of them, so I will use some of them, and they will get turned into Bitcoin. Fact.
There you go. Well, and if they have them on the Trezor, you can hold them pretty easily if you have a Trezor. And I don't know that anyone's donated any of them to us yet, but we're giving it a try just because I want to be more open to things. I want to be more polite to things. I think what I really need to do is get an EOS address or whatever the new altcoin of the day is, so I can be hip and with it again. Like these kids.
Yeah, separate the addresses too, no? Because I mean, what are we pointing our phones to the QR, and they're like really next to each other.
Sure, I'll try that. I'll try to do some different graphics and have some different stuff. Maybe I'll make fun graphics for each goofy coin. But it's also I don't want to overload people with donation addresses, and when the price is down, no one donates anyway, so not worried about it. But it's just good to be open to more things.
All right, well, I'm done. I just had to stop these guys from talking about that too much.
Well, thanks so much for calling in, and I think it's great that you're gonna give out Bitcoin and teach people about it at your show this weekend. Can you tell people where you're playing, or where can they find out about your
Uh,
band?
we're playing in Fontana. We yeah, our Instagram is at Cerebro Negro. We're a Spanish ska band. Members in Riverside, Fontana, Long Beach, LA, Paris, and, you know, come together and jam out. Mostly
Very
on the
cool.
weekends. We have a small community, about 20 bands. They're always playing the same 10, 20 backyards in LA and IE. So I'm going to try to get all of them to start using crypto.
That sounds great, man. I think starting with the bands is a good way to go. Musicians always need some money. If you could give them $5 or $10 in Bitcoin, get them a wallet, get them going. And then the fans too, if you can get the fans to use some Bitcoin, even if you have to fake it, maybe have a friend of yours in the audience with $5 on his Bitcoin wallet, and then you could hold up the QR code from the stage. You could be like, "We're taking Bitcoin donations. Anybody got some Bitcoin?" And like your one friend who's clearly a plant would be like, "I got some Bitcoin for you, man." And he could give you $5 from the audience. You could stage it the first couple of times, and maybe eventually people will have it and they'll be able to do it. So it'd be pretty cool.
That's right. If I can get the balloon man to take Bitcoin, I'd be in the moon by next year.
There it is. And that's a great idea that people that don't have cash want to do some Bitcoin business there. If you're selling anything, balloons or hot dogs or anything at a concert like that, it's a great time to try out some Bitcoin.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm going to get to that. I'll let you guys go.
Thanks so much. Give us a call anytime.
For sure.
And just to show, if you don't agree about what we're talking about here, you can call in and we'll accept your opinion. We'll let you talk for a couple of minutes. It's fine. We let Jose talk. We let Ricardo talk. It was pretty good this morning. I think we're going to head towards the end of the show. Ricardo, you want to say something in closing here?
Yeah, guys. I think like the theme of the day and the theme of these last month, since this has kind of been a consolidated market, is go out there and share. If that means just bringing people to our show so they can call in and ask their questions, this is a mad world we live in. And I know Thomas is mad about Bitcoins, and I think I've caught that. I've caught a disease, and I'm mad about Bitcoins. What I'm saying is get out there, tell people. Tell your neighbors. Do what Thomas said about the idea of planting somebody. If you want to do your own little weekend show, that's a great idea. That's the the rabbit in the hat trick. That's great. I've never done that.
You could do that on the street too. Maybe you're doing a mime act, or you can do some close-up magic or something. Have your buddy preset with some Bitcoin, and the real magic trick there is that you're taking Bitcoin and it actually worked. Somebody gave you $5 on the street, and again, pre-rig it. Magic is all rigged. A lot of things are rigged. You rig somebody in the audience to give you $5. It's not the end of the world. So, yeah, check it out, man.
That's a good idea. So get out there and share, guys. Who cares about the price? I'm investing. After you, Thomas.
Mm-hmm. All right. And I've got a bonus for the end of the show. I bought a new toy. Remember, these toys are only $10 a piece, so don't get all upset. He's spending all the donation money on toys. I'm spending some of the donation money on toys. But get ready for this. It's Weird Al Yankovic, the Funko Pop. I don't
Does
know
he
if
have
you
a
guys.
harmonica?
He has a accordion.
Accordion?
It's the squeeze box, man. And again, here I just destroyed the value of the toy.
Yeah.
I never keep them in the boxes. I don't care. I want a fun toy. I don't care about a plastic box. I mean, it looks like I could reseal it, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to save the box for 100 years. So here he is, Weird Al Yankovic, the Funko Pop. And if you get in really close, you can see he's got those checkerboard vans. Very cool in the 1980s. He's got an accordion. He's got glasses with real glass in them. And he's got a mustache. If you guys don't know who Weird Al is, go read about Weird Al. Go download some of his music. He does all these amazing parodies. He's been doing parodies since the 80s. He used to parody Queen and Michael Jackson. Now he parodies like Beyonce and Jay-Z and everything. It's like Mad Magazine. You would think that Weird Al is hip no matter what generation you're in, because he's out there parodying Eminem, and then the next day he's parodying I Lost on Jeopardy or Beat It as Eat It or whatever it is. So check out Weird Al. Pretty cool for $10. He doesn't really do anything else.
That's great. It's a collector's piece.
That's it.
Look at that hair.
It's fun. They make toys out of things they shouldn't make toys out of. I also debated about getting a Tron one. The Tron guy looked pretty cool. He had a blue suit from Tron. They also had some good Star Wars one. They had a lot of them at this store. Previous ones I got were like Deadpool as Bob Ross. That's a pretty good one. I can see Pickle Rick up in the corner there, and I have a Mega Man. I have a couple other ones. But you know, that's a fun.
Man, that's great. You're bringing some culture and some fun to it. I think that's American culture, is just having fun with it and entertainment. I think that if anybody is out there who wants to create some music for Mad Bitcoins or for the World Crypto Network, could do it on SoundCloud. Send us the link. That would be awesome. It would be good to have some music. Times are hard. We need to support World Crypto Network. We need to be out there supporting each other. And you guys just throw some Satoshis at us. Get yourself invested. Put some $10 aside. Don't buy a coffee for the day. It's $5. You know, if you're in America, get some Satoshis and buy while you can. All right.
It's funny they're mentioning Amish Paradise in the chat. I think I know all the lyrics to all the Weird Al songs. It's not that great, but yeah, he's like churning up some butter. Think I'll raise an udder. Think you're pure and righteous. Think you're pure at heart. Well, I know I'm a million times more humble than thou art. I'm the pious guy the little omelets want to be like, on my knees day and night, scoring points for the afterlife. So don't be brave and don't be whiny, or else, my brother, I might have to get medieval on your hiney.
That's right.
There it is, little Weird Al.
Super cool, man.
Be sure to give us a thumbs up and a share. Subscribe down below. Subscribe to the audio podcast. We've got some QR codes here if you want to donate some Bitcoin, some of these crazy altcoins. They're saying white and nerdy. Not going to wrap that one now, but I can probably wrap it later. So until next time, bye-bye.
Peace out, guys.